Tragikast. This is your host, Seraph. I am joined by Kevin. This is where we talk about nerdy things video games. And if you see our clan tag in your game, don't back out. You'll probably win. Normally we start with, what did we do last week? But there's no point. I will just go out and say it. We lied. We ended up playing New World and pretty much exclusively New World from last week. Are you gonna surprise me and say you did anything else?
Well, there was some Storybook Brawl.
Yeah, I
I
played a
did
little bit.
try to grind out before the cutout, but 600 points in 2 days proved to be just a bit too much.
Yeah, yeah, that's a tall order. You came pretty close though.
Yeah, I got within 300. I think I was like 250 at one point, and then lost a game and dropped back down to 300 and just called it there.
And then said, "All right, we're gonna just play New World."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't even think I fired the PlayStation up.
Nope. I'm pretty sure if there was an update, my PlayStation needs it. I haven't even looked to see what the new PlayStation Plus games are for this month.
I do know. What were they? I did know. One of them is PGA Tour, so I'll be picking that up.
Yeah, I'll pick it up too. I'll probably never play it, but you never know.
Yeah, I had considered buying it a while back. Now I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, there you go. Now you get it for free.
Yeah. And then one of the is it Mortal Kombat? Not the newest one, but the one before. I don't remember the differences in them. I don't play any of them. So that's one of them, and then yeah.
Oh, Last
That's
of
the
Us
play.
Part 2?
That's PlayStation Now games, not PS Plus.
I lied.
Which yeah, PS Now's getting a big month too. They're getting Last of Us 2, Fallout 76. Yeah.
Just tell me Mortal Kombat 10. Yeah, so you're right. Not even the last one, but the one before it.
Yeah. Which Mortal Kombat 10 is already free if you own a PS5 because it's part of the
Yeah, I've already got it.
PlayStation Plus collection. Yeah, and then there was what is it?
God,
it's a war game. I can't remember the name of it.
All right, I'm gonna make a website that just has that and just a lot easier to fucking read. And it's also not gonna have fucking an ad block.
Hell let loose. It's like war game.
Yeah, hell let loose. That's a PlayStation 5 list, right? That's the
Yes.
PS5 one, because all of these.
Yeah, that's the PS5 free game. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've covered them all. Yeah, I'll eventually remember to log in and grab that. All right. Well, let's segue now into new releases coming out. Oh look, Hell Let Loose.
Yep. So PlayStation Plus is actually getting it on launch day for free.
Yeah, it's crazy actually. Now that I think about it, that might be something. Is it a single player game? I know nothing about it.
No, I think it's 50v50.
Oh, it's one of those. That might be fun. I'll have to get New World out of my system, so maybe play it like a month from now. So we also have Alan Wake Remastered, which is all of them. If you like the Alan Wake series, cool, you got something to play for Halloween spooky time. Jet from Valorant has her own spin-off game now called The Far Shore. No, I don't think that's what this is. Lego Marvel Superheroes. I will say Lego always does an amazing job. So if you like the Lego games, there's probably something exciting for you. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. This is the Smash equivalent, except using Nickelodeon characters. I wasn't a big Smash person, so this one probably will miss me. But I hope it's good. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I wasn't a Super Monkey Ball fan, so. Art of Rally. Far Cry 6. This is I love the Far Cry series. I didn't play 5 though. So maybe I'll pick up this one when my log is done. Oh, and Car, do you know this one? Doki Doki Literature Club Plus.
I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
So you already know the big twist then?
Kinda. I wouldn't say I could explain it to you, but I
Yeah.
do know there is twist involved and stuff.
This might be fun then, closer to Halloween time. I fire it up and maybe have a spooky dream day. Because this one's pretty funny. Metroid Dread. I know nothing about it for the Switch. I don't know if this is a remake. I'm not a huge Metroid fan. And then Tetris Effect Connected. Alright, for most of these, besides like Far Cry, I have no idea. I heard nothing. And Alan Wake. I knew of Alan Wake. But yeah, so there's really nothing for me to get too excited about. Except Far Cry 6, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if I eventually pick up this game when it's like $20. Anything stand out to you?
I don't know. You said you're not a Super Monkey Ball fan, but that was actually our party game in college. Like our couch party game. Yeah. Like we had a friend that had he brought a Nintendo 64 to college, which I mean by even when I was in college
That's old.
when 64 was still dated. But he had Super Monkey Ball on it, and so that's what we would play.
Wow, I had no idea. I don't know if they did all of them, but this is the studio that does Yakuza.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same, if they've done all of them, or
No,
if that was just for the remake. Because I think this is more of a remake than a new game. I think they took a lot of
I need to know.
Old modes.
I don't care about the Switch. Don't add that. So it was a Sega game regardless. And it has gone through different publishers. I didn't want to do all the publisher. So yeah, Ryo Gagatoku probably did not do the original. But that's cool that the studio. Yeah, there it is. That's the last one before this one. I wish I could see when Ryuga Gotoku started it. But yeah, that's cool. Well, I hope it's good then. I hope now it's it's really really good. 2019. So they did the last one before this one came out. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz.
Yeah, I think the newest one is not new stuff. I think it's
just
encompassing a lot of the old games.
Gotcha. So it looks like the first ones really do it was called Amusement Vision, and then Sega just under their own publishing umbrella.
Yeah. I imagine it'll be something in the realm of what like Mario Kart 8 was, where they just pulled maps from all the old Mario Karts.
Yep, and just stuck them in there.
Yeah.
That's probably a safe assumption. Well, that's still pretty cool. If you end up, either that or maybe we add it to our fun video game days. Even though at this point, this is New World has been probably the closest we've gotten to everybody playing.
Yeah. I don't know if I would go out and buy Super Monkey Ball. If that has PlayStation Plus or PS Now written all over it.
That's fair. Yep, I can see that. All right. Well, let's talk briefly because I'm tangentially gonna obviously get my reps in for the tournament, but honestly, this is just kind of same old. We have nothing new to really talk about. They changed some of the tournament structure, and I know not a lot of people care about it, but I will say this has probably, I still enjoy the game, but this is probably my least favorite meta.
Yeah, I have to agree with the fact. I mean, it was just the moving round table to 7. I think completely changed it.
Yep. Now you have all these weird comps, dwarfs, or good boy sword, or pumpkin king scam, and I feel like that's it.
Yeah.
Like I win games where I'm like, man, there's no cohesion. There's no.
Yeah. I played a game or last week that I was down to 1 HP with 7 people still alive, I think.
Hmm.
I finished third just because I threw Medusas in the front line.
Yeah.
And then it's like I was just panicking through Medusas in the front line, and somehow that worked. And it's like, that shouldn't work. Not when you're down to 1 HP. Somebody should knock you out.
Yeah.
And the only reason I lost is because I went up against somebody else that was doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, and I feel like scam, like, don't get me wrong, it has its place, right? You'd be like, man, I'm super weak. I have to try to scam my way. But the problem is the answer to that, unless you're doing Pumpkin King scam, right, where that is your whole entire end game of being like, hey, I just hope I get a whole bunch of apple trees, right? But your scam period normally should be like, I need to do this for a turn or two until I can get to 6 and find cohesion,
Yeah.
right? Like, hey, this Cupid's gonna help me win this game, these next 2 games, hopefully, so then I can put my actual plan in place.
Yeah. But right now, with Good Boy Magic Sword being the top, or whatever you want to call it, meta,
Yep.
Scam is the best thing to compete against it.
Sure.
I mean, if
And
you can
even
Medusa
dwarves.
it, yeah, I mean, if you can Medusa that Good Boy to start the game out,
Yeah.
I mean, it should be an easy win for you.
Yeah, that, not to mention that even the other major proponent are dwarves, and a lot of times your Tripolies are on the front line. No.
Yeah.
And you generally will have no support, so not only does Medusa slay that creature generally, but then also usually stays alive to take another hit for your ranged people.
Yeah.
So
I will say though that my scam that I had with that Medusa did get pretty broken quickly, simply because I hit Harvest Moon and then put a mermaid behind them.
nice.
So I literally had 4 Medusas going off pretty much at the start of the game.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, that does sound good. But yeah, we'll break down the October. They've put out the whole list. I think of like it's almost like 1,400 or 1,700 people, something like that.
I think it was 1370 or something like that.
Yeah, 1,400,
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
They rounded up, I think. So the big changes. It's the same thing as last time, except now day 2 is going to cut into 128 instead of 32.
It's 6 rounds too instead of 8,
Yep,
or
and they
instead of
added another
5.
round, and they changed the point structure. So last time it was 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3. Now it's 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So second place and in third place, second place down gets an additional point. Or third place down, sorry. So, don't know why, but yeah, other than that, it's the same tournament. Oh, no bots this time too.
What happens if you don't have a fill then?
You get a quote unquote bye. Basically, you'll have to play another round, eventually squeezed in somewhere else.
All right.
Yep, I can't say I understand it. I personally think that's gonna make the tournament last time ran really smoothly. It was fun to play in, and there wasn't a lot of downtime. I think this complication, people are going to be like, oh, well, now you can't say you have bots, but now you're going to be, well, I don't know what to do for 20 minutes. Which in a tournament is worse, in my opinion. But we'll find out. And they do a really good job of answering feedback and everything. So if it's bad, I'll be like, I really prefer the format of the other tournament just because staring at your computer waiting to play for 25 minutes is boring.
Yeah. load up New World and mine some
Yeah,
warlords.
I'll have something to do. So yeah, I had to confirm that my name was on there again. I'm like, hey, it is. Yuck, of course. All the other ones, but yeah. So let's talk about New World, and why we lied to you all. I will shortly go first. Basically, my original assumption was I saw New World and I was like, this looks like every generic MMO that just took bits and pieces of everything. And I don't think I was far off from the truth. I just think that I forgot how much those generic pieces, when put together from all this stuff, is actually fun. I looked at this as, oh, we're not innovating, so it's silly. In reality, it's just the grind that I want when I play an MMO.
Yeah.
Checklist of shit to do, and it's never ending, and I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, and I think is actually the recipe for what might make this successful is the fact that they didn't need to innovate.
Nope.
Take pieces of what's good about every MMO and put it together and make your own. And sure, nothing's new here, but I mean, why do you need something new if you're using what already works?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. So I think I just misjudged that, thinking that it would be boring because they're not innovating. In reality, they kind of gave me what I would call my perfect game in terms of wanting that time sink and grind. I have an achievement list to follow, and all this game is grind, central. That's it. So
Yeah. I like this one a lot because it's something. If you have 15 minutes, you can get on this game and play it.
yeah, we did this, both of us, while at work today.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm playing Final Fantasy, I feel like I have to dedicate 3 to 4 hours time block just to log into Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Because of how it plays out, the cutscenes,
Yep.
But I mean, this one it feels like if I've got 15 minutes to spare, hey, I can go chop down some trees.
Yeah. I can go do that mining loop. I can get more iron. I agree 100%. I will say, as far as story is concerned, if I cared about that, I'd rather be playing Final Fantasy, because I can tell you, like, I have no clue what the fuck our characters are doing or what their motivations are.
Yeah, if you are looking for story, my 2 suggestions are either A, Final Fantasy, or B, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 you should be playing if you're looking for story.
And I offer a third, just play an RPG instead. I honestly think if you want an MMO, like, if you want both, sure, those two great game, those 2 other games are great. But if you want just a good story, play a role-playing game. I suggest Yakuza or Final Fantasy. But yeah, like, there's a whole bunch of different really good stories. That's, in my opinion, looking for it in an MMO is silly, but everyone plays games for a different reason. So yeah, didn't mean to lie to you guys. But yeah, I'm super excited. Brittany loaded up for the first time today, and that's a good sign in terms of, we have Zach in Japan playing with us. I can't even remember what your brother's voice sounds like, and then he jumped into Discord. Like, I don't know. I'm afraid to get too hopeful, but
yeah, we're trying to get Ryan in.
Yep, Ryan should be this weekend.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, if I am gonna say if we get just us 6 together, we would be the 4th or 5th ranked guild on Covenant on our server.
Do they have a list thing that you can?
Yeah, you can look at guild list and see how many members each guild has, and I think there's only 3 that have over 5 members in Covenant.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that is funny. But yeah, at this point, I'm gonna try probably to strong arm Logan a little bit.
Yeah, Logan's whole thing was I don't want to play a tab targeting MMO, so here's you can use an excuse for him. It's like, hey, there's not a tab targeting MMO. Come play it.
Yeah, in fact, it reminds me a lot of Black Desert.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Except
And I mean,
with more direction than that game has. So hopefully, and I will say for anybody who tunes into my normal streams, don't be surprised if I'm playing New World on stream instead of Storybook Brawl. Those probably will be both my games moving forward until we add something to the repertoire, or late night Yakuzas. But yes, this will be one of them. Is there anything further you want to say about New World? That something that you particularly like? That obviously I just talked about checklist items because that's how my brain works.
Yeah, I mean, mine is just mainly I like the fact that you can do a little bit here and there.
Yep.
And I, like you, am in it for the grind.
Yep.
My first MMO experience, as you know, was Perfect World, which was
I don't think
super
you can
grind.
grind any more than that.
And so that's how I got into MMOs. So to me, that's what an MMO should be.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And even anybody who played Beta WoW and early Vanilla WoW, that's what that game was too. It eventually evolved into what it is now.
Yeah, and I mean, even Final Fantasy, the parts that I spent most of my time doing were like crafting and gathering, which was the grind of that game.
Yep. I do like though how, and maybe I'm holding up hope for New World, because there is a fishing quest and I just started it. I love that Final Fantasy showed that love to the crafting world of they all had their own independent quest lines. I'm really hoping something like that might happen with New World. Not that I care about the story, just the feeling of, oh, I have to craft because my quest says I do. Like, and that's almost what the storyboards do, which I do like a lot. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I did see somewhere that New World does have like crafting and gathering specific buffs you can get on armor.
oh,
So
that's cool.
you can build a whole set of minor armor.
Oh, that's awesome. Now give me an actual weapon swap, armor swap.
Yeah, that's another thing because I imagine that can be heavy.
Yeah,
And,
not to mention, wait a minute, there's a weight system here.
yeah.
Either way, tons of fun. This will probably be at least talking about tangentially new updates for New World as well, as long as we're still playing it, which hopefully we will be. All right, let's go into the tail end of our session where we'll talk about a lot of our D&D stuff. We'll end with our campaign stuff. There's really not too much on that one. But yeah, you watched the State of the Roll announcement on Thursday, or did you just do some
No,
reading?
I saw the tweet on Friday.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I didn't actually watch it.
But you let me know that October 21st, it looks like their new campaign 3, is kicked off.
Yeah. Which surprised me a bit that it was this early.
Yeah, we figured what the announcement would happen, and there would be like a month or two wait.
I was figuring
Oh,
January.
next year, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
then they had the thing, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna start in 4 weeks." It's like, all right.
yeah, especially with the holiday season. You're right. I would assume next year too, right? Holidays are
Yeah.
always kind of rough with gathering 8 people together to
Yeah.
coordinate and do stuff. But yeah, so it looks like we'll have that new content. The major
Yeah.
thing I took away from it too, is that they're doing a new format where it will be 3 weeks of normal camping 3, and then an off week where they'll do one shots or.
Yeah, something like that. It's not exactly 3 weeks to 1 week. It's the last Thursday of the month they're taking off.
Gotcha.
So I know some months have like 5 Thursdays, so you might get 4 regulars and then a off Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I hope they continue this one though.
Yeah, but we may not see that one again until later, or it may have a new variation. I imagine the reason they're wanting to do the week off is to give the main players a week off. So the fact that there are 3 of the main players in that campaign, I don't know if they would try to replace them. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that, and I think Matt wanted it off for storyteller reasons too. I think I read that in this article. So give him more time to obviously, build out.
Yeah, which is another reason that surprised me that they were starting so early. They just ended campaign 2. It's only been, what, 2 months?
Yeah.
And for them to already have a campaign 3.
Yeah, maybe Matt's been sitting there burning the midnight oil.
It's possible, because they did have a layoff of what, like 3 to 4 months during when COVID first hit that they didn't play.
Yep.
So that actually may have been what kicked it off, because, in my opinion, I know you haven't watched campaign 2.
No.
Campaign 2 accelerated to an end really quickly. Like, I didn't expect it to end as fast as it did, especially because they were only like level 13 or 14.
I gotcha.
I felt like there was a lot more they could have done, but maybe Matt just decided he had another story to tell and just finished that one, because they ended pretty quickly after coming back.
I gotcha. Huh.
Who knows? I can't speak for him, so.
Yeah, I would love to know, and I haven't done the content, so it'll be difficult for me to kind of see that and what you're talking about. But yeah, it sounds like you weren't expecting a climax to be reached and then finished. Like,
yeah.
Closed.
Yeah, I mean, you knew something was coming to a head there, but you didn't expect that to be just the end of the campaign.
Gotcha.
To me, it didn't have the big bad feel.
Gotcha. Or like that finish, where you're like, oh,
yeah.
all right, that was good. Like our campaign, when it ended, it felt finished. This was a long time coming, though. If anything, we had the other opposite problem where we kind of stretched it out. Not your fault, obviously.
Yeah, and I won't talk too much about the end of their campaign since you haven't seen it, and I haven't technically seen it, though I do know what happens.
Gotcha. Spoilers.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll just kind of leave it at that. I do kind of wish you had seen it, though, because there is a lot to discuss on that, just from a DM perspective of how Matt handled that.
Okay.
But
well, that gives me enough inspiration, if you will, to kind of like I can, when I'm not playing with you inside a Discord chat, I look for stuff to watch. Yeah. So I could throw up the campaign 2. I finished campaign 1, so.
Yeah.
And
personally, I like campaign 2 better, but that is where I started.
And I started at, I think this is what I like to call the Final Fantasy argument.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite Final Fantasy is always the first one that they played. In my experience.
I'm also a little more of a purist than I think you are as far as rules go.
Yes.
And you know what?
As you could tell from my our I am very non-traditional.
Yeah, and see, campaign 1.
Yeah, go ahead.
Campaign 1, he let them kind of have a little more free reign. And campaign 2, he pretty much plays by the rulebook.
Yep, he definitely reels it in. And yeah, I do think there's a difference in our approaching DM styles. For me, if I think that sounds lame, I'm just gonna change it. And as long as it doesn't hurt my player's experience, right? If it starts being a problem, like, or my, the players, and yourself included, you're like, this isn't fun when you do this, well, then obviously, I'd stop within reason, right? Like, when, what was it? With the troglodytes, here, this will be awesome, we'll start watching it. We're going to talk about this. When we hit the troglodytes, in the last campaign, like, you guys did it in a way that I liked. It was clever. They're not used to the bright light, and here it is. It even says on the character monster manual, by the way, literally stunned by sunlight. So I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. So it came to a point where Sam's character Kay did an attack and brought him to one, like to one. Like that just seemed silly, right? Like he wasn't gonna attack, but I think what we ended up doing was he was just pretty much on the verge of death, like dying, and then someone just finished him off or something stupid like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, like sometimes I do this probably too much, but I feel like the rules can get in the way of what's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, within reason. Like I will say, his character has taken a lot of liberties with what a celestial being is supposed to do. But there's a reason for it that we haven't come across through the story that he doesn't even know that. So I give, Donar wants to be able to, instead of breathing fire, I did two things with Donar's character. One, he has the same fire breathing recharge thing that I give that the normal dragons have as well. So if he rolls a 5 or 6 in the beginning of his turn, he can recharge.
I noticed that as well, that was a change.
Yeah, and there's a story reason for this change that, again, he doesn't know. Casey asked me about that, like, how far, like, when can, I'm hoping to use my fire breathing to, like, hey, can I use it to, like, light a torch, stuff like that. Didn't know something he was interested in, and I was like, sure, yeah, I can work with you here. And not to give away too much, but the reason why he can do that is he's a little bit more than a Dragonborn. I'm not going to tell you anything more than that, and he's not going to find out until it's time. Right. And yeah, so you want to do something cool with your character that's unique and bends the rules a little bit? Sure. A lot of times, though, I'll flex it into a way that'll either screw you over or something that you didn't see coming.
Yeah, and I did that as well as a DM. Like, every one of your characters had something that you didn't know about.
Yep.
Some of you never learned it. But that wasn't my fault. That was
the player fault in general. And it could be the same way here, right? Like, whatever I have planned with Donar and with Ez's character, and why they can do the thing they do, and Silver's character, to be honest with you, why they can do the things that they do. Well, actually, I have one for everybody, too. Yours is a little bit on the boring side. But you have enough going on with your family's lineage and your armor.
Yeah.
That, and I also don't have to worry about like inspiring a character, right? Or a player who doesn't DM is different than inspiring a character. Like, the carrot on the stick doesn't work for a DM, right? Or someone who has DM'd, because they see it for what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also a thing where, somebody like me who is really into story crafting, like, I have an idea of exactly what I want my character's background to be, and stuff like that. And obviously, you can add some stuff behind the scenes, but for these newer players who don't have that, you can take a lot more liberties as a DM with their player or their characters, and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking for it. And most of the time, they'll be like, yeah. And if you did that for me, I'd be like, sometimes I might be like, that's not exactly what I was going for here.
No, yeah, and that's, and a lot of times, especially with your character, and when you're like, hey, would I have seen these jewels coming up from a noble background? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Yep. I did kind of let that slip, though, after I said it, because I don't think anybody other than maybe Kay knew.
Yeah.
She was from a noble background, though technically that was out of character. So
So yeah, they shouldn't react with that information, right? Like in-game character RPing. But yeah, um, it's still a lot of fun. You guys finally entered the dungeon, so or the tower. The first dungeon went through, and we took a long time to get to the end of it, but we're done with floor 1 technically.
yeah.
Depending on if you guys want to leave that floor or not.
I guess we shall see.
Yeah. And again, for anybody who's interested in D&D, we do Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern to 9. However, this weekend, and I forgot to tell everybody, so I have to tell them in Discord, I won't be. I'm gonna. Me and Brittany for our vacation this year are going to Disney, so we will not be. We are leaving on Saturday, so there will be no D&D Sunday, and no podcast next week. Unless you want to do it solo, I mean, or with Sam, but feel free. Like, but I think it's easier just to skip a week.
Yeah, probably, or do it later next week.
Oh yeah, whenever we get and come back, and we can just fire it up then. Maybe a delayed one, but either way, I do have to let everybody know in our Discord that there will not be D&D on next week. So,
all right.
you guys can have another extra week to think about whether you want to climb the tower or stay in the city. I'm glad I crafted up that city in advance. So that's what I did on Saturday. Like, I have level 2 planned out already. And then I was like, man, I have a city. If they go for it, I should have something involved. Or, if they decide to venture forth. And I'm so happy I did that, because now it's a 50-50, and I was like, I definitely thought, like, you guys would just go, oh, street, that's the exit. Or didn't find the exit, right?
Yeah, but here's the issue is our party doesn't have a reason to climb the tower right now. At least not to climb to new heights. And some of us are solely there to make money, and so if we can make money on floor 1, why do we need to go to floor 2?
No, it makes sense. And here's something, as a player, I can tell you, and know you won't say anything. Floor 2 has better riches than floor 1.
Oh yeah, as a player, I could imagine that too, but
Emmy doesn't know that.
Yeah.
No, and you guys also had this interesting thing with the dark iron with red flakes versus gems, what are more, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what are things worth? Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be fun. So I have a surprise. And that, and I don't want to give too much, but that iron versus gems, there's definitely some gems that are not worth as much as that iron. And I'm not going to give away how much that iron's worth. So, it should be fun to see. So hope to catch any of you for that D&D session. Not this upcoming Sunday, but the one following it. So, up until then, let's do what we're going to play this week. This should be pretty quick. You can go first.
Yeah, it'll be New World. Might squeeze in a game of Storybook Brawl here and there, but I can't make any promises.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same here. I'll be doing that probably until I board an airplane. It'll be the same ebb and flow. I'll try to probably get my Storybook Brawl one of the day, I think, and then I will switch over to New World.
Yeah, I've only played 2 games since reset.
Same, actually.
I lost the first one pretty miserably because I couldn't lose any points, so it's like, hey, let's do trophy hunter stuff.
Yeah, right. Why not at that point, right?
It didn't work, and so the next game I got like 3rd, so I did make some.
Yeah, you got your win of the day. And the minus didn't matter. So, well, good. Well, I hope everyone to catch. I said that. I hope I catch everyone for the next show again in 2 weeks, or the next Tragikast might be delayed instead of normally on Mondays. It may be later throughout the week on a Thursday or Friday. But everyone have a good one.